the Energy Committee, and this was actually, I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot as a freshman. This has been a very interesting topic to myself. For many of the members in here, you probably wouldn't know this, but in 2008, I had kidney cancer, and that led me to a path of really thinking about what's in our environment, what's in our homes, the chemicals around us, and really taking a different path of looking for other options. So the environment has always been very important to me. This is something that I do in my background with sales. And I try to help people eliminate chemicals in their homes with their cleaners. That's what I do personally in my own life. So this has been I would say, a very passionate subject to me. I teach people about this. And then what I see so differently is in my life and through sales and promoting having a better environment, I promote education. I promote changing minds and hearts of people. And they come along willingly because once they're educated and they know there's a different way, a better way that makes sense, they want to be a part of that. What doesn't work with human nature, what doesn't work with people in general, and I think most people can relate this with having children, disciplining children, is when you come down really hard, authoritarian on people, and you say it's my way or the highway, you give no options, you mandate, you say, I know better than everyone else. You are not convincing anyone to change their behavior. And that's what I have seen happen this entire session. I have not seen coming through rational debate and people looking at options. I have not seen the market of ideas winning. I have not seen this happen. So on a positive note, there was one win that I did see that I was very, very happy to see included in the energy bill, and it was with the RDA funds. And this is a story, I believe, where we saw two entities, which was the Prairie Island Tribe community and also Xcel Energy, came together at a table, had negotiations. Now, these are two entities that have a lot of history and a background, and these were, I'm assuming, difficult subjects for them to talk about. As everyone probably remembers, but President Johnny Johnson came and he spoke very eloquently to us about the past, about how the Prairie Island tribe is located just, I think it was like 700 yards from Xcel Energy. So this has been a situation that the state of Minnesota has been dealing with for a very long time. And I just want to say this is kudos. This is kudos to two entities that have not agreed in the past, who came to a table, talked, discussed, heard each other out, came to an agreement, and they made a proposal that both sides could agree with. So for that, I say kudos. That really is what we want to see happen. And then on the opposite end, here we are in the state of Minnesota, where we have this one-party control government who has continually shut out the other side, who has acted like the authoritarian figure and has just demanded, not just on the other party, because let's remember, they only have the complete one-party rule by 321 votes on one Senate seat. This isn't a 70-30 state. This isn't a deep blue state. This is a very, very purple state, 50-50. And again, we have seen half of Minnesotans left out of the conversation. It's disappointing to me to see this energy bill coming through. And even though I am very passionate about the environment, I'm very passionate about us doing the right thing. I think most members are. I think there's a way that you can do the right thing and you can sell it to the public through education without demanding, without doing this the way that they've chosen to do this. In one of my other committees, I recommended that we should look at government as a business. And I actually was scoffed at. I was. And the members said, "This is government." I think the Minnesota taxpayers would like to run government like a business. And what does that mean? That means that we look at everything from a 50,000-foot view. That we don't go into every situation and approach it, it's my way or the highway. Running government like a business is balancing money. It's not overspending. It's being responsible. That's not happening in this energy bill. We are Minnesota state representatives. And I'm just going to take one subject, and that would be solar. And I've spoken on this floor before about the absolute dangerous path that we are taking by taking away rich, fertile, black farmland. This is Minnesota. We are one of the top states for agriculture. Of course, this is not a federal level government. But again, if we could back up to that 50,000-foot view, the United States should be putting solar in areas of desert, in areas of land that is not productive to agriculture. And believe me, in the United States, there is plenty of land where solar and wind could go that is not harming our agriculture. This is a reasonable recommendation, members, and it is so confusing, I think not only to myself, but to 90% of Minnesota, to not understand the harmful effects of your energy policy on our agriculture. We need to run this like a business. If a business is being productive in one area, you don't just take out that productivity from your business. You can expand, but you would do it smart. I have talked about putting solar over blacktop. I have talked about putting solar on rooftops. And this just doesn't make sense. I don't know how else to explain it. It doesn't make sense. When the Democrats put as one of their #1 priorities for the 2040 bill, the carbon-free energy bill to pass, Minnesota, do you know why we did that so fast, so quick here in the chambers and put that in law? Well, I know probably everyone in this chamber has figured it out, but I don't know if Minnesota has. They had to rush through the 2040 carbon plan, put it through in law, so then every other bill that came through the Energy Committee was justified. You see, we couldn't have open discussions about cost, about better options than solar and wind. We couldn't have these discussions because it simply came down to they had to do it to meet their 2040 energy plan, which already went into law. Didn't I know that? Members, didn't you know that? This was not by chance. This was very strategic. And then every other bill that came through the Energy Committee, millions and millions and millions. We have to do it. We can't discuss this, right? We have to do this. We have to pass this. We have no other choice. We have a 2040 energy plan, Minnesota. One of the bills that came through my committee was from Representative Liz Lagarde. And it's a transmission line that goes from Minnesota to North Dakota. I'll just give a little background. I've learned a lot being on the Energy Committee. It's very, very interesting to me. So I don't know if Minnesotans know that we're part of the MISO grid. And I did hand out a sheet, so every member could have this. And I know you've seen this before, members, but I'm really hoping today's the day that we really, really look at this and we really analyze it. Because this is important stuff. The MISO grid, this is the fuel mix that's coming from 15 states. 15. So Minnesota, you are drawing our energy, we are drawing our energy here in Minnesota from 15 states. I didn't know that. I don't know if many people in Minnesota knew that. 15 states. And on here it shows, because I wanted to make sure it was relevant for today, and I actually, even if you look at the time, it was at 11:35. I didn't want to do it when it was dark out. I wanted to make sure it was light out, that we were pulling solar. You know, I wanted to be a fair representation. So out of our energy today, it was like at 11:30, 3.5% of the energy on the grid is coming from solar. 12% is coming from wind. 69% is coming from coal and natural gas. The two things that the majority party has decided that Minnesota can no longer have. 69%. Does that seem alarming to anyone? Solar in Minnesota just does not make sense. Again, we have snow. We have snow. We do have snow. We have snow, everyone. And the solar panels, oftentimes in the winter, are covered in snow unless someone physically goes out and cleans them off. That's really a problem. And yet we are pushing solar like this is some sort of drugs, I don't know. Like we're addicted to it. Solar is not a good option for Minnesota. And it's not because I don't care about the environment. It's because I can look at facts. solar is not a good option for Minnesota. Put solar all day long in Nevada, Arizona, all of these other places that do not have rich, fertile farmland. Go for it. Put it there. Let's talk about wind. What's the life expectancy of the wind turbines? Anyone? Hold up fingers. Life expectancy of wind turbines. 20 years. All right, we got a winner. Thank you, Representative Wiens. We got a winner. Turbines, 20 years. Members, I know this is so hard to think about facts. Average life expectancy, 80 years. Look at how big those wind turbines are. You're going to replace those 4 times in one person's life? I thought you like recycling. Anyone like recycling? I do. Anyone like recycling? I do. Yeah, thanks. You can't recycle wind turbines. Did you know that? Did you know that? What? You can't recycle wind turbines. Has anyone seen how big those are? Wow, that just doesn't seem very green. Does that seem green to you? Anyone? 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 I don't think that seems very green. So we are embracing carbon-free energy? This doesn't make sense. This energy bill doesn't make sense. You know, I have no doubts that you care about the environment and that you care about the energy. That you want us to do better, that you want us to go carbon-free. I have no doubts about that, and I think actually most people on this side agree too. Everyone? Do you want reliable energy? Yeah. Do you want affordable energy? Yeah. Do you want safe energy? Oh yeah, we got cheering going on over here. Why are we embracing wind and solar, which has failed in other areas? Please, someone explain it to me. You know what the energy of the future is? What is the energy of the future? I don't know, he's ignoring me over there, but I could ask him to rise for a question. What is the future energy? Google nuclear Europe. All right, members, you can do it. Everyone with me. Google nuclear energy in Europe. And you know what? You are going to see story after story after story how Europe, guess what? They're ahead of us. So Europe is going nuclear. This is after many areas already tried the wind and tried the solar, and it failed. So many people looking at their phones, ignoring facts. Europe is going nuclear. Europe is going nuclear. Well, let's see. Who else is going nuclear? Okay, well, I lost it. It was on my phone. But there was a story right here, I believe. Actually, he left. I was going to ask Representative Garofalo to rise for a question. So there's something called, okay, you might want to Google this too. This is the energy of the future, if we care about energy. I don't know. I thought this was the energy bill, so I thought we cared about it. But the energy of the future is small, modular nuclear reactors. Oh, you got it? Madam Speaker, could I have Representative Meekland answer a question?
He will yield. Representative Altendorf.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Representative Meekland, I am new to the Energy Committee and I am learning as fast as I can, but I know you are a little more versed in some of these things. And could you please give us a little bit more information of what you know about nuclear reactors? I'm going to give you, nuclear reactors, where are they being used, and is this the future of energy?
Representative Mecklen.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Representative Altendorf, unfortunately in Minnesota it doesn't seem to be the new future because we have a moratorium that doesn't permit it. There is, I believe it's in Wyoming, there's, I think it's a Bill Gates co-investment to look at micro-nuclear generation. And I think you were starting to touch on an article. X-Energy and Dow have coupled together for a site down on the Gulf Coast to do pretty much the same thing with this new micro-nuclear. It's far more efficient, uses way less fuel. It's modular, so you can buy as many units as you want and stack them together. It would be actually an excellent fit at the Sherco site. But this is, it should be the direction. It is 100% carbon-free. So I think that answers your question, Representative Altendorf.
Representative Altendorf.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Representative Meekland. That was my question. I think this is really important for us to know because on the 2040 carbon energy bill, Minnesota, we have a moratorium that we cannot expand nuclear. And on that 2040 energy plan, which is all record, so I hope Minnesotans take a look at that. The Republicans offered an amendment. We offered an amendment to take away the moratorium on nuclear. Guess how that vote went, Minnesota? The majority party voted no. The majority party voted lockstep no to lifting the moratorium on nuclear when Europe is going towards nuclear energy because that is carbon-free energy. Other states in America that don't have this stranglehold on the government, they are exploring and expanding, and they are putting in nuclear reactors, small modular nuclear reactors. Why? Because nuclear is the future of carbon-free energy. Minnesota, the majority party is pushing through bill after bill after bill of millions and billions of dollars that's going to cost the state of Minnesota to move towards their 2040 energy plan. We don't really know if we're going to get there because in my committee, we had a testifier said we didn't know if we were going to be able to get there, but they testified in committee that we just have to have faith. We just have to have faith. Actually, I think if we were looking at energy like a business and not special interest groups that we have to pay back political favors, I think we would be looking at every option on the table, every tool in the toolbox, and we would figure out how to get to 2040 carbon-free energy and do it faster, smarter, more efficient, more affordable. But that's not what we're choosing to do here, folks, and I have to ask why. If solar was so great, in economics, if something really, really works, Here's a rule of economics. If it worked, the economy would drive it. That makes a lot of sense, I think, to most people. When you're going to buy something new, don't you research what works the best, what's the most affordable, what's the most reliable, what's the most safe? So as a consumer, I want to buy a new car. What's the most affordable? What's the most reliable? What's the most safe? And I would research it. Okay, I'm not buying a car. I'm the state of Minnesota, and I want to go carbon-free energy by 2040. So I'm a business person. What's the most reliable? What's the most affordable? What's the most safe? And you know what? It's not solar. And you know what? It's not wind. So members, I think we really have to look at what we're doing here with this energy plan. We can't keep on spending money like we're spending money, millions and billions of dollars, and not have every tool available to us, every tool in our tool belt to be making the best decisions as possible. Vote no.